Hi everyone, welcome back to the TheFragialeShow. I'm so sorry that I haven't been able to make a video in a long time, but for those of you who are following me on my beauty channel, you know that I'm in college, so I'm not home to be making videos, and we've been cooking on Columbus weekend, so stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more Italian recipes. And today we'll be making spaghetti alla carbonara, so let's get started. Alright everyone, so again, this is my mom. And like I said, we're going to be making spaghetti alla carbonara. So this is some of the ingredients that we need. We need a package of bacon, some spaghetti, eggs, cheese, Parmigiano cheese, and
any white wine will be okay. I have chosen Moscato from. It is a California wine. It's not anything special. I don't buy expensive wine for cooking, but this is very inexpensive and it's excellent. It has a delicious flavor. So I strongly recommend Almaden by Moscato by Almaden. So I'm going to show you how to prepare the bacon to make it very lean. As you already viewers know, I specialize in lean cooking for the lifestyle of today. And this is a special dish for young people, just like I'm teaching my daughter to cook for college, and this is my specialty for all of you, to teach you very easy, inexpensive recipes. Now this particular dish, and it ranges from $14 to $16.95, so it's a very expensive dish, yet it's so easy to make and it's quite inexpensive. For less than $5 you are able to feed a family of 4. And the side dish that I will recommend for something like this will be a nice salad or any type of vegetables that you have. I happen to have some broccoli di rape. Watch a recipe in the previous videos.
And part 2 will be coming up soon.
I have already made the side dish, and now we are going to prepare the bacon. The way you do, you try to detach the pieces of the bacon and try to remove as much chunk fat that you see in a chunk. You want to make sure that you take the chunkiness. You still want to leave some, you know, around the edges. And for flavors, of course, you need to put that. So if you see that there is a little bit of the meat in between, you can keep it. And then I show you how to also trim it a little bit more. But the chunkiness, this is what you want to make sure you remove.
Alright everyone, well in the meantime, since my mom and I kind of specialize in 30-minute meals, which again are just fast and quick and easy for college students and you know, newlyweds, people that are first starting to learn how to cook, whatever. I'm going to show you guys, bring you over to this way. So over here we have a pot of water boiling, and it is on medium, which allows some time for the water to start boiling while we're preparing the meal.
Okay everybody, this is pretty much what I have done. You can come closer and see. I tried to remove all the chunk pieces of the fat, and I left all the tiny pieces attached to the meat. And I cut it and kind of shred it as much as you like, but then it will become very small once it starts cooking. But pretty much you want to try to separate it a little bit. And now we are going to pour some wine in a glass. I just use about this much to start with, and then you can taste it and see if you want to add a little bit more, but that's pretty much what I start. Okay everybody, what you need for this recipe is a frying pan. In this case it's a quite large frying pan, but you can choose the portion according to how many people you want to serve. And I tried to warm up the frying pan ahead of time so that when I pour the meat inside, it starts to sizzle. So now you can, it's pretty hot.
So just start putting the pieces.
And you start, it starts to make some noise, so you know that it's hot. And you kind of separate a little bit with your hands as well.
So now that we are approaching
the
cooking stage
of the meat.
of the actual pasta. We're just going to raise the temperature a little bit for the water
so that
now it starts to boil.
And in the meantime, I work with the meat. Now, one extra ingredient that I also want to mention, which is about to be ready pretty soon, is a little bit of butter, because we tried to get this as lean as possible, and it's better to have some butter than to have the fat from the bacon. So we are going to use about 2 slices of butter. I go 1, about this much, and 2. Just about this much. And that's enough. And when the meat starts to get a little bit brown, then we pour the wine.
Alright guys, so the meat has been cooking for about 5 minutes, and as you can see and hear probably, it's sizzling now, which means that it's definitely cooking, and we are on to the next step.
Okay.
Adding the wine.
Okay. Okay. So you distribute the wine, and you give it a good stir, and you let it cook for another 5 minutes. And then we add another ingredient. In the meantime, the pasta is boiling.
The water.
The water is boiling.
So the next step is just to put the pasta in the water. And again, like my mom and I had mentioned in previous videos, that we suggest using barilla pasta because it tastes so good and it's upside down.
Okay.
But using barilla spaghetti, which is so good.
For the purpose of teaching people who are just beginning to cook pasta, I choose to break the spaghetti. It's much easier when you stir it. Now the spaghetti are all poured in the pot, and we have to stir very quickly. I strongly suggest to have something like this handy, because you have to reach out to it very quickly. Otherwise, it
sticks to the pan.
It sticks together, and then it doesn't look very good, and it doesn't taste very good. Okay, we are back again. As you can see, the wine is sizzling together with the meat. Is boiling and just fine. So now we introduce the next ingredient, half and half. And we put about this much for now.
Half of a cup, yeah.
Yeah, well, not a little bit less than half of a cup. And we start with this. And then we just see, when we taste it, if it needs to have some more. And you have to get the temperature high. It's very important, because it doesn't have to cook very long. So it has to basically blend together. That's the secret. Everything has to blend together. And at this point, you have to juggle a little bit. You have to stir this once in a while, and stir your spaghetti. Do not forget your spaghetti. Spaghetti need to be stirred. So you have to be sure that when you're ready to pour the pasta, you are staying next to the stove. Otherwise, you're not going to have a very good spaghetti. Okay guys, now that you see that the spaghetti are nicely and detached, because they are starting to cook obviously, so it's much easier now to handle the spaghetti. And once you see that they don't need as much time in stirring, then you introduce the other ingredient, which is the salt. So at this point I will start with this, and then gradually you taste it and see if you might need a little bit more. Again, the temperature has to be high, otherwise pasta in general, not just spaghetti, but in general, it doesn't cook very well, and it doesn't taste good afterwards. And as you can see, this is boiling nicely together.
And it smells so good.
And you don't have to
let
it dry. You want to make sure that it boils nicely, but then you shut it off. You need the liquid. You don't want to drain the liquid. And then we get back to it in a little while. Okay guys, next to the almost final step here, we need about 4 eggs. 1, 2, 3, and As you see, I prefer the brown eggs. They are more nutritious for you, and they are also tastier. And what you want to do, you want to give it a nice beat until they are nice and blended together, and then you leave it just like that. Okay guys, I want to show you a good close-up of how the spaghetti look when they are nicely and done but still al dente. They are bubbling and they feel, you can just see that it's not that dark anymore, the color. So you turn it off and you drain it. So now we put the whole pack of spaghetti
in the eggs.
They were about 4. If you like also a little bit softer, you can add a 5th one. But right now I'm going to show you how the eggs are going to turn. And then you want to bring this back in the frying pan. That was the reason why I suggested to use a little bit bigger size. So you give it a nice stir. See, and you see the eggs are
It's
nice,
so cool. Because the
nice
pasta's so hot, the eggs are like cooking themselves.
They are cooking themselves. Okay guys, because of all what is happening with eggs, you want to make sure that eggs are thoroughly cooked. In the past, this was not a concern. But right now, you want to make sure that the eggs are thoroughly cooked. So I put it back, I put the spaghetti back in the frying pan, and I give it a nice stir, and I put the speed high, the temperature high, and you kind of work the way through so that it gets nice and blended together. And at the same time, you cook the eggs a little bit more. As you see, I have let it stay for about a minute or 2 and make sure that I stir it profusely so that when the egg got very thoroughly cooked. And you don't want to make it too dry, so you want to make sure that you don't overcook. This is the final touch. Now that everything is ready, you basically have to add Parmigiano cheese. Again, I really strongly advise you to find a nice Parmigiano cheese. The one that I find with very nice flavor and yet very inexpensive happens to be this Rosano, which is imported Parmigiano cheese. And then as I mentioned in the previous videos, I take a few portions of cheese and I put in a container, and I seal this back and put it in the freezer so that it preserves the freshness and it doesn't spoil. The last ingredient, pepper.
Secret
For
ingredient.
those of you who know me, I always put crushed red pepper. This is the only time that I don't use crushed red pepper. This recipe requires black pepper. So you give a nice stir, and then you place it on the dish, and you can put also some, this is how it looks. It's very lovely and very nutritious. And come to the other side, and this is the side dish that I have prepared ahead of time. And we have the recipe for some of this in the previous videos, and this particular one that I have made with mushrooms and onions and red peppers. We have not made it yet, but stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe, and many more delicious recipes will come your way.
Alright everyone, well thank you again so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. This by far is probably one of my favorite dishes, and it's a big hit with all of our friends. So I hope that you have fun making it and hope that you had fun watching it. And again, stay tuned for more videos and hope you're having a great day. Bye!